Welcome back to Gentle January, our antidote to the high speed, high energy start to the new year that many of us have gotten used to. I hope at this point we have all figured out that time is an illusion. I always say that the days are extremely long but go by very quickly. Like every time I blink, it's Thursday, it's 8 p.m., and it starts all over again. Even your regular care tasks can feel like a chore. It feels like if you choose to close your eyes and go to bed early that you may miss something. In today's Gentle January, we are talking about slowing down. I am personally not very good at slowing down. Anyone who knows me knows this. Honestly, if you're watching this video, it's probably obvious that I'm not great at slowing down. Whether it is working for my actual business, scrolling social media, or catching up on the latest must-watch show, they are always available. On top of this, the 24-hour global news cycle and the fact that someone thought it was a good idea in my timeline to give a person like me access to any amount of information at any time. I have honestly been known to start Googling a topic well past midnight and go down a rabbit hole of information. Scott will wake up the next morning and I have a whole new thesis to tell him about. It also sometimes feels like taking care of myself is a waste of time. There's always more to do. I'm a small business owner, so my everyday daily task list looks like a CVS receipt. And I know I'm not alone. A lot of people who work from home that I'm friends with have a really hard time turning off their brains, switching out of work mode, and getting into their real lives. Most nights I have to fight myself like a toddler to go to sleep. I'm either bribing myself with like, oh, if you go to sleep now, you can wake up early so you can go to the market. It rarely happens. Or I'm trying to logic myself into going to sleep. Like, you already know that your recovery from your workouts are going to be better if you go to sleep early. But yeah, what if I just Google or Reddit something one more time? It always takes at least 30 minutes. Since we moved to France, I have had to slow down in a lot of ways. There are a lot of things I didn't anticipate that I would have to slow down doing. I know that the French bureaucracy is like notorious for being slow, so I was prepared for that. Yeah, I could submit my paperwork. I'm not actually worried about how long it takes the people on the other side, but I have to slow down in my daily life. I cannot have conversations this quickly with a lot of people because their mother tongue is not the same as mine. Their primary language is French, my primary language is English, and even if we both know some of the language, it is hard to do that translate as quickly as you would in your regular everyday language. I also have to slow down when I'm buying things at the store. I have to read the labels to make sure I know what I'm getting. I have to slow down when I'm buying a ticket for the tram or the train. I have to make sure it's going in the correct direction. I have to slow down when I'm actually speaking because my French is not super strong and I want to make sure that the other person can understand me. This, in combination with the daily onslaught of absolute horrors that we all get fed through our phone and through our TVs or wherever you're getting your news from, has caused me to start working towards actually slowing down and being more mindful. The fact that I moved to France would seem like it would be easy for me to romanticize my life. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, there's a big trend of romanticizing your life where people show their view of their daily tasks, but they romanticize them a little bit. Maybe it's buying flowers and arranging them. Maybe it's putting on an outfit more mindfully. Maybe it's just taking you through their day in the life. And I eat it up. I love seeing people enjoying their lives. It's not that simple for everyone, though. Not everyone can make the switch from hurrying through their life and not feeling any of it to romanticizing, particularly if you are someone who has a lot of trauma. My first step to slowing down, to taking better care of myself, and to getting to the point where I actually could romanticize my life, my first step was revenge. Sorry in advance to all the mental health professionals. I know this may not be something that you recommend to the people that you work with, but that's how I had to get into it. When you grow up in an environment where taking care of yourself is seen as selfish or useless, extra, or worthy of mockery, it can be extremely difficult to slow down. On a macro level, if you're in a society that tells you that time is money, you are only worth as much as you could produce, and we also want you to be consuming all the time, and don't waste time, and this and that and the other, it can be very difficult to slow down and enjoy your time. They want you to buy skincare, but they don't want you to use it or enjoy it. That's actually extra, move on. Hurry up, shower, brush your teeth, get to bed. We need you to be fit and productive for us in the morning. Rush through your care tasks. They are not important. Your emails are important. The people asking for your time are important. Your time is not important. It's hard to switch from guilt to romance. So I went from guilt to revenge. Every time I thought, oh, it's not worth me doing my skincare routine, I'm just gonna doom scroll, I said to myself, that's what so-and-so would want for you. Or something like, congratulations. The machine has managed to exploit all of your time from you, so much so that you can't care for yourself. Yeah. There's a little spite and there's a little revenge. So I would go in there and put on my skincare and say nice things to myself with my serums that I already purchased. After a little while of doing that, it got easier to make that part of my routine and part of my habit without the element of revenge. And slowly but surely, it became a part of my routine that I very much look forward to. But it took time, and I didn't get there straight from not loving it, hurrying, and rushing to romanticization. If you identify with any of this, I'm here for you. And if you really identify with this, you are probably watching this video on 2x speed. So here are some reasons that you should try to slow down. Some of you are going to get very upset when I say this, but multitasking actually isn't that good for you. I know. I multitask to a sickening level. Big screen, little screen, typing, texting, talking, somehow managing to drink a beverage and also toss a toy to my cat across the room. That's the type of multitasking I like. But actually, multitasking isn't great for you. When you are multitasking, you are more likely to make mistakes. And I know that you already know that. It's also not as good for your memory. We have spoken at length over the process of Gentle January about memory and memory retention. You are less likely to form those special pathways in your brain for memory if you are multitasking. Rushing around behavior can cause you to feel fatigued. Again, I know you already know this. It can run down your brain, it can run down your body, and it can even run down your immune system, and none of us need that right now. Rushing, going quickly, multitasking can also leave you open to sleep disturbances, which I already talked about, mental health problems, and even serious illnesses or organ damage. Maybe you are convinced, maybe you are not. So here are a couple of ways that I am integrating slowing down into my life and my routine, and ways that I think may inspire you. Number one, taking breaks throughout the day. After I finish recording these videos, before I edit them, before I send out an email, before anything, I usually take a few minutes to lie on the floor. That may not be your thing. Being on the floor may not be your thing, but you could find a thing that breaks up your tasks. Taking intentional breaks can help you regulate your nervous system and slow down. Throwing it all the way back to Gentle January, day one, mindful breathing is a really great way to take a break and designate your time in between tasks. When I shared in that original video that I am not mindful breathing all the time, I mean it. I'm over here typing away, hyperventilating, but when I switch tasks, I like to take a couple of seconds to take a few deep breaths, wiggle my body, and then move on. When we are adults, we don't get the advantage of having the bell ring and going to the next task, unless you're a teacher, but that's probably causing you more stress. We won't get into it. Sometimes we have to create those breaks for ourselves, so mindfully taking a break, either standing up, taking a deep breath, taking a few stretches, grabbing a sip of water, relaxing your shoulders, all of those things can be a great designation before we move on to the next task on our list. This one seems like a given, but actually slowing down can help you slow down. I gave the example of my skincare routine, but actually taking my time with my wind down before bed routine, brushing my teeth, flossing, doing my skincare one layer at a time, speaking kindly to myself, either in my head or out loud, waiting for each layer of skincare to absorb. It has really helped me slow down. The wildest part about that whole thing is it's usually still under 10 minutes. The only difference is I'm not trying to slap on a layer of serum, brush my teeth, and check my email while watching a TikTok all at the same time. That's the biggest difference. I'm being more intentional about taking the time to do the task that I'm actually doing. Which brings us to chill on the multitasking. I'm never going to stop multitasking. You can't make me. You can't make me. But I could chill on it. There are some things that just don't require you to multitask. There are some things that deserve your full attention. Particularly as someone with ADHD, it is very difficult for me to entertain both hemispheres of my brain at the same time. Someone online said that their brain needs its iPad, like their inner brain is like an iPad kid and they have to give it its own entertainment separate from the task at hand. And it really feels like that. But not everything requires your inner iPad kid to be distracted. And if it does, you start small. I have started meditating during my floor time, and it is so challenging for me to just do nothing. But I set a timer for 5 minutes and I try to do nothing. My brain is loud. I have 3 different songs playing, a movie playing on the screen in my mind, and everything on my to-do list. But for 5 minutes, I allow myself to not do those things. It's painful. It kind of is painful for me, but we make it work. You don't have to give up on multitasking, but you can slow down on it. The final way of slowing down and really integrating that romanticization of my life has been enhancing my obligations. What does that mean? It means currently, right now, I have to feed myself, and typically I am the one cooking. But I can choose to enjoy the process of cooking, whether that is washing vegetables or warming food, prepping food. It doesn't always look the same for us, but we could still enjoy the process. Maybe you put on a nice little bistro playlist instead of watching TV or blaring the news. And I really have been trying so hard to sit down to eat. Some of you are going to be like, that is a given, and some of you are going to be like, I never sit to eat. Sitting down to eat is fundamental in France, so it's non-negotiable when we're with others. But when we are alone, me and that counter meal, we go together real bad. I've been trying to do fewer counter meals, and I've been trying to sit down at our little bistro table and enjoy my food. I have to get clean. I gotta take a shower or I gotta take a bath. One way I have been enhancing those experiences is by using the things that I have. I don't know if you've ever been gifted a really nice body scrub or a nice soap, or you have an expensive shampoo, but if you have been holding on to it for a special occasion, I want to let you know that the special occasion is now. The special occasion is that you are here and that you are alive and you're getting ready to take a bath or a shower or whatever version of getting yourself clean. You deserve to use nice stuff in the middle of a week, in a non-special bath, in a non-special shower, just because. That is where the romance comes into this, because so many of us hold out on these pleasure practices because we feel like we're not ready, or it's not the right time, or I need to save it for a rainy day. That's totally valid. So many of us have that feeling inside, but you deserve to use your nice shampoo. You deserve to use your fancy smelling lotion. You deserve to use that now. Slowing down and adding a little bit more romance to your life is not just for the rich and privileged. So long as you have breath in your body, you have an opportunity to slow down and take a deep breath. It doesn't need to be expensive. It doesn't need to be purchased. Slowing down on the tasks that you're already doing, cutting back on the amount of multitasking your brain has to do, and appreciating the things that you already have is a great way to enhance your life and feel a little bit more relaxed. Allow your nervous system to take a step down and drop your shoulders, because the world outside of our romantic little bubble is dark and full of terrors. But that does not mean we have to give up on ourselves. In fact, I think that means we need to give ourselves even more. We need to give ourselves more chances to breathe. We need to give ourselves more opportunities to slow down. And we need to give ourselves just a little extra kindness. Slowing down, being intentional, and sprinkling in a little bit of romance this year will go a long way for your mental health and the mental health of the community around you. That wraps up today's Gentle January. This is one of my favorite topics because it's something that I am desperately working on myself. So if you have any suggestions or feedback on ways that you're slowing down and adding more romance to your daily regular tasks, I would love to hear them. I hope this inspires you to do something kind for yourself. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It's just for you, for the intention of taking care of yourself. That's it for today. Love you so much. Talk to you later. Bye.